And away we go. It is the Nightcap brought to you by BearcatJournal.com. Right here on BearcatJournal.com. Funny how that works.
Weird.
Again, I'm leaving this open probably till the middle of next week for people to reach out, and then I will start making calls and figuring out where we're going to go, what direction we're going to go in. But if you are interested in sponsoring this show, reach out via DM, Twitter, on Bearcat Journal. You can email me, brendel.chat@gmail.com. Any of those avenues to get in touch. And like I said, next week or so, probably let it run through the holiday. And then after we get past the 4th of July, start reaching out and start trying to nail down a new sponsor for this here program as we get things rolling. And like Aaron said yesterday, this isn't it. Like, this isn't the only thing that's kind of in the works for the 2024-2025 season that is upcoming. So if you want to advertise your business to the largest collection of UC fans on the planet, then reach out and we'll work something out. All right, Aaron, it was a big day for the Cincinnati Bearcat basketball program as the Big 12 Matrix was released. We don't have dates yet. That'll probably, I think last year that was in September that we got actual like dates and times for most of these games. That usually holds the form. So we're probably a couple months out from that. But we do know who they're going to play only at home. We do know who they're going to play only away. And we do know who they're going to play both home and away. And before we get into the specifics, Aaron, I will just say this is about as favorable as they could have possibly asked for.
Yeah, without getting into specifics, I was more than pleasantly surprised with how this worked out for the men's side. I don't know anything about the women's side that was also put out. Truthfully, I don't.
I just don't know the women's side in the league that well.
Right. But on the men's side, I don't think you could have asked for a better wish list. And this is coming after, again, I think we said the same thing about this last year, where we felt pretty good about the home and away matchups.
Yeah, it's a little different this year because the league's better.
And bigger.
But there's
and
last
more
year
games.
I thought, last year, unfortunately, what didn't work out is they didn't win the home games. When we looked at the schedule and said they can win these games and put themselves in good spot, and they didn't. And they ended up having to be road warriors a little bit. And it ended up, being essentially 2 games short. I think if they got to 9-9 in the league, they would have been in the tournament, but instead they were at 7-11, and that didn't work. So let's get down to business here. We'll start with the home and home, Aaron. Baylor, BYU, Utah, Kansas State, and West Virginia. If you look at T-Rank in their 2025 college basketball projections, Baylor is slotted in at the number 21 team in the country. Both of those will be quad 1 games. Kansas State is slotted at number 36 in the country. The home game, and these will change obviously as teams play games, but it's a quad 2 home, quad 1 road. BYU is number 42 in the country, quad 2 home, quad 1 road. So that's the same as Kansas State. And then West Virginia is a quad 3 home, quad 2 away. They are number 83. Utah, number 87, quad 3 home, quad 2 away. You avoid, at least in terms of T-Rank, I think people have Baylor in the human polls. Baylor's ahead of Texas Tech. Texas Tech comes in at 17 here, which is pretty surprising. But Baylor is the highest. And then Kansas State and BYU are right after them. Those 3 are in a bunch. And then, like I said, West Virginia and Utah are 15th, 14th, and 15th projected in the league. So for your home and away games, it's solid, but you have some winnable away games in that group.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Houston being the best there.
No, we're just looking at home away.
Well, the home and away.
Yeah, the ones that they play both.
Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of commotion going on here in the background. I'm doing the best I can to try and filter some of that out. No, I mean, if you're looking at the home and away, Baylor, I would think the best of that. We kind of already knew that, but it's exciting. These are exciting teams. BYU's put on. They've come in strong towards the end of this transfer portal process.
Yeah.
Utah is definitely going to look to make some noise as they're new to the league and they're not.
The return to Cincinnati of the Madsen brothers. Did you know
the Madsen twins?
Mason is there.
I did know that. Yeah. I saw some of the video that he wanted to get one in with his brother. Kind of similar to the Fletcher boys here, I guess, in football. But I don't know. It should be. You're happy to see some winnable games there. You're also happy to see some challenges at home. I'd much prefer the challenges at home as opposed to having to face those all on the road. I know even going back to what Dave said last night, you definitely want some of those challenges on the road, but it is what it is. You need to get those home wins. And if you have some winnable games at home, that's going to set you up for maybe stealing some of those on the road as well.
And then away, Colorado is projected 16th in T rank. So that's winnable. Oklahoma State projected 74th in T rank. That's winnable. UCF projected 53rd in T rank. That's winnable. So, in your away games, when you look at the home and away, West Virginia and Utah look winnable. Kansas State and BYU are going to be tough winning on the road. Baylor's obviously going to be tough winning on the road. But, I mean, if you look at this, you've got 4 games if you play well, maybe 5 games if you play well, that you can win on the road. And that's about as much as you can ask for in this league.
Sure.
You got 10 road games, 5 of them are winnable. That is a favorable schedule for you. And then obviously the challenges, the big challenges are going to be Iowa State and Houston. Houston is first in T rank. Iowa State is third. And Kansas is second.
Where's Arizona in that?
Arizona is 15th, Texas Tech 17th, Baylor 21st.
So stupid.
So 6 of the top 21. Cincinnati might even be in that. I don't know where Cincinnati is. I was just looking at the opponents. And then the home only, Arizona and Kansas. Like that's right. What jumps off the page. And then Texas Tech is going to be a team that's right in that same area, that same range as Cincinnati. TCU is probably not going to be as good as last year, but they'll still be solid. Jamie Dixon's a heck of a coach.
Right.
Where TCU is 64 in T rank. And then Arizona State, who they're 66. They got a couple good players late, high school in the portal to kind of save them from looking like what could be a really bad season, but they're going to have to show something in this league quick, or things get a little dicey for my boy's baby brother. Bobby's been trying to get out of there for a couple of years because he can hear the train tracks coming, and he hasn't been able to find a new job. So,
are you terribly upset that this is going to be the first year in I don't know how long that we haven't had to play Houston twice in the regular season?
No, I won't mind it. We had to play him almost three times every year.
I get it. I am not at all upset. That said, if Coach finally does get that monkey off of his back, which is not going to be an easy feat against a team that's ranked, you said, number 1 in T rankings. Okay.
Yeah, number 1.
If somehow, some way, coach is able to get that monkey off his back this year on the road, he doesn't have to even go back and play them again unless it's in the tournament at the end of the season. So
right.
I'm totally okay with all of that.
Aaron, at home, you are going to get 3-4 high-level teams.
Which
Texas
is what
Tech
everybody's
and T-Rank is top 20. BYU top 20. Arizona top 10. Kansas top 10. It is going to be a hellacious home slate.
You've also gotten your money's worth. For those who complain about the slate, the out-of-conference slate, if you got season tickets this year, you are certainly getting your money's worth this year.
And you add in Xavier.
Right.
In that home slate.
The crosstown shootout as well. So should be
any of these that you're of those 10 home games, any of these that jump out. I mean, obviously Kansas and Arizona,
right, those are
going to be the ones. Yeah.
Baylor, I think BYU is going to be really good this year, and that actually scares me.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know because this guy's never been a head coach at this level,
right?
We don't know how good of a head coach he's going to be, but he did not. They're talented.
He didn't play around when it came to the portal.
Yeah, they're going to be a little young and they're going to be inexperienced, but
so there's last season's Oklahoma State. So okay,
I think they probably are going to be better than that.
I think their skill level is a little bit better than Oklahoma State, but they're still going into the season. They've got on paper the talent. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're glad you don't just get them in Provo. I think you like having them back here just in case you need to get one back against them.
They're going to have a score to settle out in Provo as well if there's anybody still remaining on that team from last season.
A couple, not many. Couple.
The fans remember. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, that was a close game all the way down to the final 5 minutes.
Right.
And then Cincinnati pulled away, and all of a sudden it was an 11-point game, and everybody's looking at each other going, just happened.
I do like getting West Virginia twice. I think that if you are trying to revive rivalries, I think this is how you do it. So I'll say that. Also, with getting the Matson twins not once but twice. That's going to be there's plenty of story there if you are somebody who has to come up with storylines for the game.
Yeah. Are you surprised UCF is not twice?
A little.
That we are not officially, like, it looks like they've clearly made a choice that West Virginia is our travel partner, if you will, with a little bit of separation from UCF.
Well, I think they do that simply because of how close the two teams are. It financially is less of a burden for the teams to travel back and forth to these two schools.
Aaron, nobody gives a shit about what it financially costs to travel back and forth.
Maybe, but right now,
drop that charade.
Everything is all about dollars right now. Don't kid yourself. Everything is about dollars. Plus, it is a revival of a rivalry.
Yes, that more than anything. I don't think the travel dollars, at least in like men's basketball and football, it's not a topic. Now, in like women's soccer, sure.
I am curious, though, to see if football continues to try and grow the rivalry between Cincinnati and UCF as opposed to West Virginia, but we'll see.
I mean, that's going to be up to the conference.
Right.
I think the conference looks at it and says Cincinnati, West Virginia is more of a regional rivalry than Cincinnati and Central Florida.
But you
like
do
if you're
have
trying to build rivalries.
If you're paying attention to the people who genuinely have disdain for one another, Cincinnati and UCF, there is no love lost between the two programs.
No. But if Cincinnati and West Virginia play, look, they didn't like each other in the Big East.
Right.
The more they play, the more the fans are going to remember.
Oh yeah,
I don't really care for you.
Yeah,
I don't like you all that much. So yeah, I mean, look, this is as good as it's been since at least the Big East. Like, I have not gone back and like actually dug through some of those old Big East schedules, like what the home slate looked like, but you know, a lot of them involved Syracuse, Pitt, UConn, you know, there were a lot of big dogs that came to Fifth Third Arena in that era. It's going to be very nice to have that back.
Yeah.
Be very nice to know every night you're going in, and we got to experience it some last year. We just didn't get Kansas, didn't get like the big dog. And this year you're going to get Kansas and you're going to get Arizona, and those are two blue bloods. And Baylor's got a recent title, and I'm not all that broken up about not seeing Houston twice. I needed a break from that.
Like I said, if you're able to steal one from Houston, you don't actually have to go back and try and get it again. And if you get
Iowa State, I would like to have seen Iowa State here this year. But I get it. They played here last year and then didn't have a return game. So if you're not going to have a return game, I guess it makes sense to send it to Iowa State this year. But that place is a monster to play in, and that style was not very fun for Cincinnati. I don't.
Yeah. Well,
what else you got?
It's going to be interesting. Did you want to pull up the women's schedule, or?
I mean, we can. I don't know a whole lot. Like I said, I'm not all that well versed in the Big 12 women's side. I know all anybody really cared about was Haley Van Lith kind of going to be at Fifth Third Arena. And that answer is no. You'll have to go to Dallas to see that matchup.
Okay.
I know they did theirs. They kind of surprised me. They did theirs 6-6-3, where the men did 5-5-5. 5 home, 5 away, 5 both. The women could have done that, but they went 6 home, 6 away, and then 3 both. Actually, that's because they didn't move to 20 games. That's what that's about. That just clicked in my brain when I did the math.
There you go.
But BYU, Utah, Colorado, Iowa State, Kansas, and Houston here. Arizona State, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, and UCF. Road only. And then Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia, home and away. Aaron, West Virginia is the
rival,
the Cincinnati rivalry. They're making it very clear.
Yeah. Is that the only team that the men's team had carryover from twice last year?
Yes.
Okay. Then maybe it is. Yeah. If so, like I said, I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's far easier to travel back and forth to West Virginia for a game for football or basketball. Outside of basketball season, you may run into snow in the mountains.
Aaron, if they cared about travel, the women's team would not be going to Arizona State, Texas Tech, TCU, and Baylor.
You're still going to have to go to those teams. You are.
I'm just saying. I know.
But
they didn't do any favors in terms of how far the women are going to have to travel on those away only games.
Well, tomorrow I get to celebrate my grandmother's 93rd birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Yeah, we're going to get to have, I guess 4 generations of us there. Well, my dad excluded.
Tomorrow there's going to be double-digit kids running around.
Yeah. Yeah, there were double-digit kids running around here today. So I'm glad they kept quiet enough during the show. But yeah, Grandma's going to get to meet her. I can't imagine she's going to get to meet another grandchild after this. So she'll get to meet the most recent in little baby Bexley. So,
well, you guys have a great time.
Yeah,
and I guess we'll probably talk on Sunday.
Sounds good.
All right, there you go. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. That is the Nightcap, brought to you by Bearcat Journal, right here on Bearcat Journal.
See ya.